Alright, so here we are, back again. Mark Antony Dark 66, second movie. And we are at the point now where I am going to share with you my top 5 musicians slash influences of all time. These artists have helped mold me, direct me, and influence me to my singing style, my type of performance, etc., etc. Alright, so the first band slash person that we are going to say has influenced me to be a musician slash singer is definitely, without a doubt, Kurt Cobain, the band Nirvana. Now, from my point of view, ever since I was a toddler, Nirvana and Kurt Cobain inspired me to become a musician. But the thing that inspired me on multiple different occasions because of him wasn't necessarily that he killed himself, because I really don't agree with that type of thing. But when he was alive, he more or less put his emotions a lot into his music, and whether you saw it more or less of him putting on a show or being himself, it was really hard to tell if he was being like genuine with his feelings or if he was just playing the part. I think we assume now after his death that he was just playing the part, but when he was actually alive, we understand that he had this like broken artist thing. Like, he was broken on the inside, and he had this like rebellion against the world in general, which was very appealing to all of us, I think, because it was like you were seeing him like in such a raw way, like, this is really who I am. I'm really not putting on a show, etc. And ever since I was a toddler until now, he still continues to inspire me. I'm still amazed by a lot of his songs and his musical compositions, etc. So he's Nirvana. Kurt Cobain is my number one influence slash inspiration. Number 2 on my list is the rapper Lil Wayne. I remember being in high school, and I remember before Lil Wayne dropped his Carter 3 album, I remember he came out with all these mixtapes up until he actually dropped the album. But these mixtapes were like just so riveting and so exciting. But I remember, like, the music was good. He's very talented in a lot of ways. But I distinctly remember, like, I guess I was just graduating high school at the time. And I'm listening to him and I'm saying to myself, wow, he's putting out like a lot of music right now. Like, I've never really seen like a rapper put out like this much music. And he was like the first artist to show me like how to love music. That's the best way I could explain it. Like, he was just always so enthusiastic about it. Like, he loved to do it. And I'm saying to myself, okay, like, if he loves to do it, I can love to do it. And that's how he inspired me, because he just has such a great work ethic. He's definitely like not lazy. Like, he's just putting out all this great music, and I'm like, wow, like, I'm so inspired to try to do something like this every day if I can, make a hobby out of it, etc., etc. So he's my second huge inspiration, and that is why. All right, so I'm back. My third. I have. By the way, I have my nephew with me for like the week. It's like, summertime, and he's out of school, so just like hanging out with my nephew, gaming a lot. So, anyways, okay, my third inspiration is definitely the band Aerosmith, the rock band Aerosmith. I always admired them before I saw them because my dad always showed me like some of their music. But even after I got influenced just from my dad took me to see them in Atlantic City years ago, and the concert was just riveting. I mean, these guys were just like, I wasn't really expecting it, but seeing Aerosmith live was something spectacular. I wasn't really prepared for the level of musicianship that I saw. I remember when they came out to their first song, Back in the Saddle. I remember the audience just like almost being like frozen, but like so like seriously paying attention to what was happening. And the music was just hard hitting, like just monstrously like captivating. Like it was just like rock and roll like at its finest, and I'll never forget that. I'll never forget Steven Tyler coming out in this big top hat with like these big aviators. I wear big sunglasses, so like that's that's definitely like a huge influence of mine, and I'll never deny it. So, Aerosmith is definitely my number three. My number four is a artist by the name of Ghostface Killah. I saw Ghostface Killah with some of my friends. We went to New York City and we went to the House of Blues, saw Ghostface, and it was a great rap show. It was a great show, and it was very real. Everything he did was very real. It was like when I was there watching him perform, it was like he was like, it's almost just like he was just like talking like about his life. He was just like talking about his life and just like expressing himself, like to the point where I almost felt like I knew him. Like I felt like I knew Ghostface like after this concert. I was just like, wow, like okay, like this guy's like he's the real deal sort of thing. Like, I kind of know more about him than I ever knew about him. And you might not know so much about Ghostface because he's more like underground, but you should really like check out his music. He's a great rapper, great musician, great hip hop artist, like just awesome. My fifth influence inspiration would have to be the band The Who. Again, my dad took me to see another rock show in Madison Square Garden. I saw them live, and I just remember the show being great. But the one thing I can honestly say about them is I would say that throughout the years, like their music has always remained on certain popular television programs. I'm not going to say the names of those television programs, but if you know their songs and you watch the programs, you know what I'm talking about. Their music has stayed in our American culture for like decades, and it just speaks for itself. Because the music itself never dies, and they continue to be on top of their game, and it's amazing. I mean, it's just amazing how music can go from decade to decade a lot differently than what we see today with popular artists, etc. But anyways, so those are my top 5 favorite influences, and as a bonus, I'm going to say who, in my opinion, I think is the best guitar player, because I'm a rock star, so I have to have a favorite guitarist. I'm going to say Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin is the best guitar player of all time. He brought rock and roll to a different level through Led Zeppelin's music, and their music speaks for itself. I'm not going to overly embellish that. There's so much great Zeppelin music out there, you know, and I don't even need to talk about it that much because it just speaks for itself. So those are my 5 influences, inspirations, who I think is the best guitar player of all time, and let's get on with the movie. All right, let's rock.